Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Spiritual as Fuck
or whatever
podcast. I'm Roxanne McDonald.
And I'm Joe Clements.
This week, we are going to be jumping into your questions. So Joe has not seen these questions. No. This is going to be what the internet wants to know about
internet? The actual
Joe.
internet?
Well, it's the people who follow me on Instagram, and they follow you now too. Some
Followers.
Of them.
Yeah. Only have questions for me?
No,
okay, good.
No. I did do one that was just like questions for Joe, but a lot of them are for both of us.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and I'm starting to get jealous because everyone loves you. So I was like,
they already love you though. You don't understand.
Okay. So I'm gonna mix these up because I'm gonna not just read them as they came in because there's some good ones here.
Okay.
How did you two develop such good chemistry?
Oh, shit.
We've known each other when we said that in the first episode, but we have known each other forever.
For a long time.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that has much to do with it.
Really?
I really don't. I don't know. I think it was just, I don't know fucking what it is, but it was just comfort. It was like, we already knew each other maybe a little bit, but just like same path maybe. But it's just one of those things, I think. It's just an ease, a comfort. I don't know.
A trust.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, an authenticity where it's like being able to, I've felt from the beginning just able to be me, which is super cool. Yeah.
But I think longevity has a part of it. Like we were listening to Jerky Boys on tape.
Oh my God.
In a garage.
Yeah, we did have, there was a lot of fucking fun times with the Joanna. Yeah. All those people we were talking about. Yeah. So yeah, I guess there was a foundation, but we didn't hang out for years.
Yeah, decades.
For sure.
A decade at least.
At least 93, 95 maybe, and then after that it was just like seeing each other once in a while.
Yeah. But I think part of it is that we are on the same path, and that I really got excited when you and I reconnected, and it was like meeting somebody who was just as dedicated to personal development and spiritual development as they were to remaining playful.
Right.
And remaining and being happy, like having it not be something that you wear as like a defense against the world. I think that's one of the things I love about you, which makes me love me more.
Yeah. Well, awesome people just have awesome relationships.
Okay. How are you both so good looking? Well,
Ben Lomond water.
Don't tell people where you live.
Oh shit! Way up in Lumpico. Yeah,
we have to cut that. I think. Cut that. You
really?
think?
I don't know.
All right, fine. Joe lives in the woods.
Yeah. Not a van down by the river.
I think that my first thought is like, this old meat sack, this old prison for my soul.
Oh shit.
I think that once you transcend your physical realm and become pure light then re-enter your body,
that's it.
It's it. That's what's happening.
You got it. Yeah. There is something to be said though about dealing with the stress. I think mindfulness is a huge piece, and just not drinking is a whole nother. I mean, you saw pictures, and you saw pictures, and you start aging really fast. And I think I don't know, I don't fucking know the answer really to that question. I just care about life a little bit more, so I guess that maybe shows.
Yeah, a lot of these questions are just disguised compliments, which
and good
I think
looking,
was so wonderful.
Good looking,
just so kind of you.
I don't know, it's whatever. I feel healthy when I hear good looking. I mean healthy, like I'm not fucking dying,
Yeah,
kind of thing. I mean we're all dying, but I don't look like it yet.
Yeah, but even my lesbian friends say that you're hunky, so. I think
I take that more of a compliment than anything.
Okay, how am I going to become as positive as you guys?
Oh shit!
Listen to this podcast.
Keep watching YouTube.
This is for the podcast too, though, Joe.
Yeah, and listening to the podcast.
Yeah. And I think we can actually have a whole show about positivity and the the misconceptions and the downfalls, as well as like why are people resistant to being positive. But
it's not a fake positive either. I definitely I get negative, but it's a negative feeling. It's not like fucking everything sucks kind of shit, you know. But I'm still eggy.
I think that's a regional term. Eggy.
Yeah, it is.
I don't
Santa
think
Cruz,
people outside of Santa
Cruz. Don't be so
Cruz.
eggy.
Yeah,
it's definitely a Santa Cruz surfer skater term.
What does eggy mean?
Just in a bad mood.
Yeah, irritated.
Eggy, irritated. Yeah.
Okay, this was a good one. What do you mean by, quote, holding space? We say that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Go, Joe.
What do I mean by holding space? I mean holding space for anyone that I'm in a relationship with or groups, holding a space for them to open, like a safe, how do I articulate that? Not trying to force any walls or force anything. It's just holding space. And when I say holding, it's like a compassionate kind of term for me, and holding space for people to come have their own experience, I guess, you know. So a compassionate, seeing, just being in relationship with either if one person, a friend, or my family, or in a group. So it's holding space is holding space for people to be their authentic self, I believe.
Yeah. I think it's about being present. There's one part that is just about when I say holding space, I think about just having the kind of the presence of being like, I'm not going to try to fix this right now. I'm just going to allow whatever it is to be. And with other people, which generally we use that term with other people, it's about not jumping into fixing or changing or manipulating or doing anything to just hold space that way. There's the other thing for me when I run groups as a facilitator, I will physically look around the room and see where the bounds are, and then I'm responsible for that period of time with this group of people, and I actually will put my energy out to encircle everyone and be there, and then also be conscious that my role in that situation is to be the structure, that whatever happens in here happens, as well as maintaining the guidelines or agreements that have been agreed upon for that group in that space. So holding space too for me is going, I'm going to be mindful of time. I'm going to be mindful of each person in this room. My job is to be looking around and checking in, and my job is to make sure that we don't violate any agreement that we've already made.
Yeah.
So
when you say bounds, do you mean like bounds of personality kind of stuff, not just the boundaries of the actual physical room, right? I mean, what do you mean by bound?
No, I mean, this is how woo-woo, I'm secretly this woo-woo, that I will take a deep breath. And I've run groups for a really long time. I grew up in counseling groups because I was in the Yes School, and then I, was a counselor for many years there. And now I teach writing. I notice a massive difference when I don't do this. So when I come into the room, I set it up in the way that I want. I get people to sit down in a circle usually, or, and when I teach at college, at the extension at the college, sometimes it's rows, but I just get in control of the actual physical space. And then when everyone is there, I envision myself, my physical, energetic self, pushed out, and then I am now, and I actually envision it, and sometimes like it's a like sense of light, sometimes it's whatever, sometimes I fill the room up with bubbles in my mind and just go, I want to have it be a playful time or whatever, but I actually do a visualization of making sure that I'm conscious of where I'm responsible for. I'm not going to try to control everything, but I'm responsible, and then it creates a container.
Yeah, I that's super cool. I don't know, I like that a lot. But I like that you touched too on that it's a normalizing too. Like when I do a lot of groups as well, and it's always just a normalizing, knowing where everybody's at. I'll even, just let's feel our feet on the floor first, kind of get grounded. The agreements are really important, and just everybody's kind of agreeing on this. We're in a circle. We're all doing this together. I'm a part of the circle. And then check-ins kind of thing, and being able to see where everybody's at, and then holding that container. And then I kind of go from there, kind of, okay, this is where everybody's at, and we need to be more playful, or we can go a little bit of deeper dive. Yeah, I guess that's a container too, just kind of knowing the room a little bit.
Yeah. And then I think internally for myself is that when I notice that there's something going on, and I'll use the term holding space for grief, or just letting anger have some space to just, I find a parameter of there's practices that I do where I will, when I am really struggling and feel really tender, I go home and I have tea, and I have a tea night with myself where I drink like herbal teas, and I'm calm and quiet, and I don't look at TV, and I read something that is like soothing and positive. And that's me holding space for just like, you're allowed to have whatever emotions you want to have during this. And that's super cool. Holding space. There's another thing that I do is that I go in when I'm feeling something that I think I can't bear, and I'm resisting feeling it. So when when my life comes into that thing where I know that there's some heartbreak or anger or whatever it is, that I can see that I'm starting to run ragged all over the place. Like when I'm resisting, I can't feel it. Because I think if I start to feel something, it's going to take over, and then I'm going to be feeling that feeling forever.
Right. It's not going to go away.
So I pull out my sock drawer, and I go in and start organizing it. And I allow myself to feel whatever that feeling is. I get to be extremely angry. I get to be extremely depressed. I get to be sad. I get to be self-pitying. And I do it for as long as it takes me to get my sock drawer completely together.
Wow. Sock drawer is important.
I hate putting socks together. So I know that it's not a task that I'm going to allow happen to go on for hours and hours. So that it gives me this boundary of like, well, I know I'm going to stop doing the sock drawer at some point because I don't like doing it. And that it gives me a physical thing to be doing while I feel the thing. And then knowing that at the end of it, I am going to have a sock drawer that's all together, and then I'm going to put it away, and then I get to take a break from that emotion. And usually what happens when I greet the emotion is that it gets its space, and then it has less power. It's space. Holding that space. And I think what we're both leaning on too and landing on is that's the compassionate response, is allowing, not fixing. And the fixing part is the shadow side of compassion, where it's the shadow side leads to codependency, where it's like, I need to fix it so everything's better. You're not feeling good, I'm not feeling good, we need to fix it. Well, I can fix the fuck out of stuff too, though, and not in a bad way. I think it's when I'm not doing the holding space thing. If I don't greet it first, because I'm a very nuts and bolts kind of person. So you saw at the retreat, it's like, well, if you want to try to change something, here are some physical things, like get your sock drawer out, find some music, do these things. So I don't necessarily think that it's not about ever applying tools to change something, but that holding space idea is about allowing what is to be there without judgment before anything else happens.
And not just get stuck. I'm trying to reflect on like what I do, and I think like if I'm having difficulty and I feel like it is just allowing myself to be broken, and actually now I know how to articulate it and let my family know, or let people, like, I just fucking need to just be seen, or I just need space, or whatever it needs to be, and just allow myself to just like, this sucks right now, and knowing that it will pass. And if I need to, go down to the ocean or go for a walk in the redwoods or something, I definitely do that, or just fucking sit, just sit. You know, that's a big part for me. Feel my feet, feel my body, feel my emotions, feel not just the emotions but the sensations in the body. Because that's a big thing for me. It's like being able to fucking feel where all this shit is, and that's holding space for all that. It's those emotions that I would push away forever.
Yeah.
In a sense, it was abandoning myself before. You know. Yeah.
It's a great question, huh?
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay. What color are Joe's eyes?
Because they're so squinty, you can't see.
Well, you have glasses on all the time. They're blue.
They're blue.
Yeah, they're light blue. What color are Roxanne's eyes? They look blue sometimes and green sometimes. Because mine are like out all the time. Like
Because you're a witch.
What color are my eyes?
You're a witch. You're green, right? I thought they were more greenish.
I just say they're gray.
They're gray.
Because they just look different.
They're green brown, I think. Yeah.
They are the exact same eyes as my brother. And he and I this is one of the sweetest things in my life. We would lay down when we were kids with a hand mirror, and we'd put it over one eye, and then you're just looking at his eye, looking at my eye, looking at his eye.
Oh, shit.
And then it would be the same eyeball, and we loved it. It would be like, no matter what was going on, we would be like, lie down and then do this mirror thing. And then someone told me later that that's like a soul bonding kind of thing, but I'm like, we just thought, so my eyes are just the same as my brother Kevin's were. So they're the most special part of me. No questions. You're just hilarious and adorbs. Aw. Do you record many topics in one sitting and then split them up, or do you record each one separately? I will answer because you're thinking about it, but you know the answer. We record in chunks. So I come up to Joe's studio, his recording studio, and we record a few episodes at a time. And we're trying to backlog them as much as possible. But then we don't release them in the order that we recorded them so much, because sometimes we think we get off on a topic and then we're like, it doesn't follow the last episode as well. So we work with our producer guy, Jeremy, and decide later when they come out. But we're usually trying to do 2 or 3 episodes each time.
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything?
Nope, that's what we do.
I'm right. I'm not lying. What are your all-time favorite movies?
Oh, shit. This is a hard one.
Really?
Yeah, Pulp Fiction is always a go-to for me. Tommy Boy is my favorite.
Yeah. I love Fight Club, Dirty Dancing, Pride and Prejudice, all of the versions besides the one that was made in the 40s. I call them, I watch period pieces when I'm on my period, so I call them period pieces. So I pretty much
They're not actually from a certain period.
They are called period pieces because it's just any historical movie.
Yeah. Okay, so they are.
I am always looking for more period pieces to watch while on my period. But Pride and Prejudice is, yes, very much up there. And then I love Bad Santa. I watch Bad Santa.
Bad Santa's super dope.
And Apocalypse Now.
That's a great one too, yeah. Yeah.
But
What's
then
the
I
one
also
that you always go to
Amelie.
that you
Amelie, I love that one.
Amelie?
Mm-hmm.
What's the one that you'll rewatch?
All of them.
All of them, yeah. I don't rewatch a lot.
Really?
Mm-mm. Tommy Boy, I will, just to laugh.
Yeah. I rewatch all of those. I have them on DVD too. Okay. That's not very inspiring though. There is a documentary called, I'm going to just try to be more inspiring right now, but it's called Favela Rising. And if you can get your hands on it, it's so amazing. It's such an incredible documentary. I love that movie.
My favorite documentary is Doing Vipassana. Super cool documentary. Yeah.
Where can you find that?
I think they might be. I've found it on YouTube before. Yeah, I don't think it's on Netflix. It's kind of a little harder to find, but it's about prisoners in, I think it was in India first, and then they brought it here. They did like an actual retreat in a prison, a Vipassana retreat, and then they tried it here. I think it was Georgia or Atlanta maybe or something. Yeah, so.
Okay, I'll
like in
check
the
it
Bible
out.
Belt, and it actually was it went over really well.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Joe.
And Vipassana is a meditation, silent meditation retreat.
Do you meditate every day? And if so, for how long?
I would say that I do meditate every day, but it's different forms of it's not I don't physically just like, okay, I'm going to sit for a half hour today. I'll do that. I do it on a good week. I'll do, I'll get like 4 good sits in, but I'm checking in always. Like in my car, I'll stop before I get in the house. I'll just stop, feel the breath, feel any emotions in the body, just let myself settle before I go into the house. Before I'm doing group, all those kind of things. So I think that's meditation. Just mindfulness is just awareness, moment to moment awareness. So, so getting on the cushion, I would say a good week. I'm doing 5 days a week, but 3 to 4. Yeah, half hour sits, 45 minutes if I have the time. Yeah,
that's
Are
pretty
you
good.
Judging me?
No.
Because I am. I
You
judge
are?
myself.
Because
Yeah.
you're a meditation teacher, so
Yeah,
you should be meditating 2 hours a day.
Sure.
Yes.
But when you are doing a lot of stuff and have family, it's hard sometimes.
Yes. Okay. Are you vegetarian or vegan? I am not. I just, as a rule, don't discuss my eating habits on any kind of social media at all. I just don't do it. I think that it is just such a pit of stuff, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to harm anybody. I don't want to discuss my changes in my diet. I don't want to discuss it.
Yeah.
So I'm not discussing it. I don't know if did I say that yet? I'm not discussing it.
Not vegan or vegetarian.
Okay. Are you two a couple?
Couple of awesome people.
Couple of ding dong heads.
No.
No. Joe is married.
Yes.
He talks about his wife and kid a lot.
Yes.
When's the next retreat? I want in. We're totally putting that together.
Spring, yeah.
We haven't found dates. But if you get on the newsletter email list, you will be the first to know.
Yeah.
So if you go on my Instagram and hit the Linktree button, the first button is to sign up for that. And then also, if you support us on Patreon, then you will be the first to know and get a discount code for any kind of retreats or anything that we do. So thanks for asking.
Yeah.
And that's how you will know how to make sure you get into the next one. The next one, we are already looking at making it more affordable by allowing more people to be in it. And it's going to be hella good. Yes.
We're super excited off that last one. I was just like, yes, this is what we want to do.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was cool. Really beautiful people that came.
Okay, before I get to the other ones, would you rather have 1 testicle the size and weight of a bowling ball or 100 testicles the size of marbles?
Holy shit. It seems like it would kind of add up to the same thing.
Well, my question was, well, where do I keep these testicles?
On your chin.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they would have to be. For me, I'm always looking for the way out. So I'm like, well, sure, I would just
have them in a sack.
Yes.
Just kind of carry them around like this,
or put them on the bookshelf.
Yeah.
But if I had to have them on my body, I think I would probably go for the 100 marbles.
I'm thinking 100 marbles.
And if they had to be where testicles usually are,
but it seems like it would just in volume, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm going for this. I'm going for the little ones.
Mm-hmm. It seems like somebody went through the would you rather code, because there's another one which is a bit more difficult for you, maybe.
For me, maybe.
It was I think I wrote it down right. So if you had a Freaky Friday situation where your girlfriend/wife changed bodies with your mom, and you had to get them back into the right body, you had to have sex with one of them, who would you have?
What? Say that again.
So your mom and your wife.
You already lost me at mom.
have a Freaky Friday where
Right.
they switch bodies.
Switch bodies. Oh,
So your
it's my
mom is in
with
your
my
wife's body,
Oh my
and your
God.
wife is in your mom's body. And the only way to get them back to normal is to have sex with one. Who would you do?
Oh my God. I can't. I fucking can't. Oh my God.
I mean, it's easy for me because I
Really?
I would just do the body of the person I'm with, attracted to, because I don't ever speak to my
That's
mom.
true.
She
Just
can go
don't
back to
shut
wherever.
the fuck up. Don't
like,
say a fucking word.
Yeah, like I think that would be less psychologically damaging.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah, because, oh man. You're right. If you had to. Yeah.
So I just helped Joe there.
She helps me a lot.
I wish I could sit with you too. I answered this one on Instagram.
Yeah.
But if you do want to have help with meditation and developing a meditation practice, visit us on Patreon, and Joe puts up, I don't want to say free, because there are resources for people who are not patrons. So if you even just go to the Patreon page, patreon.com/spiritualaf, I think is the thing. But then even with $4 a month, you get almost a new meditation every week.
Yeah. I've been trying my best to get up there, get one up there every week.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
And come to our retreats.
Yes, come to our retreats. What is Roxanne doing traveling all over the world all the time?
Living her best life.
I'm making it happen, yo.
Yeah.
I actually have been blessed with a adopted family that goes on trips, and they take me on them. So I have been traveling with who I call fairy god sister, Ingrid. And we go a lot to these Kaiut yoga trainings. So a lot of the times when I'm out of the country, I'm traveling around finding Francisco Kaiut, who came up with this yoga.
It's super cool yoga.
Yes.
I really appreciated that yoga practice.
It's amazing. Wait till you meet Francisco. So then another question, which I stepped on, is do you both do yoga? And if so, what kind and how long? So I have never liked yoga. I tried and tried and tried, and I haven't been able to do it. Joe does yoga, normal yoga, right?
I'm not a regular practice.
Oh, I thought you did.
I try. I get into it, and then I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I don't. I always hurt myself.
Yeah.
I always end up feeling like I'm just going into some torture mode for an hour or more every time. I'm a movement person. I dance, I walk, I hike, I run upstairs. And so it was always this thing where I felt like I should do it and I didn't want to. And then I do have a pelvic deformity. And so, getting into these positions that they would always have me get into with my pelvic difference was why it would always hurt. But then I would always feel like I should be doing yoga or Pilates or whatever, because then it's going to make it so I don't have back issues anymore, which was just this cycle for me. Yeah. And then I found Kaiut yoga, which is a biomechanical approach to a yoga practice. And so it's not, there's no like poses that you have to get into. It's all about being present with your body, and then just being, getting into more mobility. And it saved me. It shifted everything. So I'm getting certified probably next, I think it's in February that I'm going to be a certified Kaiut yoga teacher.
Nice.
But
nice. Yeah. I like the Kaiut. Yeah.
Yeah, you should get certified too, Joe. We'll get you into that.
Yeah, let's certify.
Where do you record the podcast? Like specifically where? Give me the Addy. No, weirdo.
You can email me if you want to record.
No,
maybe they're looking to record their band or something.
Oh, if they want the band. No, I don't know.
You can email me and we can talk. We can discuss what you're. Yeah. I'm not giving that Addy out right now, though.
No, don't give the address. Addy. Give me.
I don't want to say Addy either.
It was like, give me the Addy.
Nope.
I think that's it. We have a couple. Oh, we have a question about. Oh yeah, how did you heal your practice after how would you heal your practice after being violated by someone who was your teacher? I'm afraid of all spiritual teachers besides Roxanne. It's probably because I'm like, I'm not a spiritual teacher. But how would you say to heal? This could be more advice, like that we're going to be doing IGTV advice. So I don't know if you want to do this on here or do advice.
Yeah, it's a tough question. It's like,
I don't know. I'll fucking answer that. Just because somebody's a teacher doesn't mean like it's difficult, but I think that placing your spiritual development at the feet of somebody else and then being like, just because you were a shithead or a jerk means that I am no longer going to have access to myself and my personal practice. It just like we have to consistently take the personality out of the practice. So anything I've ever done, really, like when I was swing dancing, there's jerks there and people harmed me. And I didn't just go swing dancing is bad. In 12-step communities, there's a lot of weirdos there and that people are not completely socially great, and there's predators, and if I threw that out when I was hurt, then I wouldn't have that. So yes, like I'm not saying don't address that you were hurt. I am saying like if this is like about meditation or doing some kind of healing modality, I would go and be really conscious about finding a place or a person that is clearly not a predator. You can really like take your time and slow down. A lot of times what happens is we have a little bit of an opening and an awakening into any kind of spiritual development at all. And then the first thing we find, we just rush into headlong. I know I've done it.
Yeah.
And then we don't have discernment. We don't look for what are all the things how are the ways that somebody's going to show me that they are not being a predator. And I don't think you can always avoid. I'm not placing blame on anybody who has gotten hurt at all. I just want to be clear. And I feel like we can move forward in our practice of anything with responsibility for ourselves and our poor hearts that have been hurt, and to not throw out the goodness with somebody being a shithead.
Yeah. I love that because it's such a personal, the practice is, we're coming to it. It's not just because the person that we learned it from, that was the messenger, but it really is a personal practice. I like, there's a story that the Buddha on his deathbed, all his devotees or whatever, the monks were like, oh, who's the next Buddha? Who do we follow? What do we do? And the story goes where I kind of picture him where he's like, just rolls his eyes and goes, if you're asking that question, you have not been listening. Because it's not about the teacher, it's about the person. It's about your own experience. It's such, for me. And I had to remember that. I've had to remember that, no matter what community, whatever thing I was a part of that is not there anymore or whatever happened, and I want to break out my blame thrower and blame everybody for it. And this shit sucks. And it's like, no, there's actually, I found a lot of peace within, and that's because I've done the work.
Yeah. Well, and this person, I know a little bit of this person that asked the question, and it's about meditation. Yeah. And so I'm like, just being present. Just go be present. And if there is a certain way that meditating was taught through this person that harmed you, and that's triggering, then don't do it that way. Or do it that way and show up being so kind and responsible and loving to yourself while you do it. Because a lot of times you can reframe that stuff. The other thing is get another voice in your head. There are so many amazing meditations online. You could go check out Joe. And I know that it wasn't you who was the bad teacher. So, but
I'm not everybody's teacher.
Yeah, to just show, but anyway, so just find another way in, find another way, just keep going in the direction of what your calling is. Especially if it's about spirituality, and take care of yourself, I think, too, because meditation and mindfulness, it's used in a way where just sit and
let everything come up and just fucking bear down on it, but maybe you need to fucking do it a little different. Maybe you need to walk a little bit. Maybe you need to open your eyes and just take care of yourself within in the practice as well, you know, because a lot of stuff comes up, and especially when, you know, you thought you were safe, not safe. That's difficult, especially in a vulnerable practice like meditation.
Yeah. Okay, on to the last question I think that we have is, are you doing this podcast indefinitely, or is this just a series? Joe?
I live in the moment, so I don't know.
Joe's commitment phobic.
Yeah, I definitely am. I'm loving what's going on, so I don't see an end.
Yeah. I think for now we're just going for it. We might do a season, like season 1, season 2, if we need a break at any point. Yeah. And then we'll like, I talked with Jeremy and he was telling me about how that works, and that sometimes you come back with a new season when you have like a new microphone or new music or something big happened. Yeah. But right now, I think all the people that are listening to us now are original gangstas, you know, and they're
in it to win it.
And you're here listening as we learn our voices and figure out what music or not music's going to be played and all that. So I think we're just going to keep going and showing up and doing it. Yeah. So my hope is that we just keep going and letting it grow and change any way that it sees fit. It being the podcast and
topics,
topics and the relationships.
I definitely know that this is sprouting so much other cool stuff that I'm really excited for too. So I think it all coincides too. So
good. Is there anything you'd like to add about yourself, Joe?
No, thanks for the questions. I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Thanks for caring.
Thanks for listening. Yeah. Yes. I like the engagement. I think that's cool.
Yeah. And if you have more questions, you can send them to me or Joe, and we will maybe do another bonus round, maybe every 10 episodes. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't think I want any more questions about having testicles, but who knows? It was fun.
No.
Yeah. All right. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yay. Goodbye.
Bye.
Here. You gotta keep this bell away from me, because I see a bell. I want to ring it.
Ring that.
Yeah. All right. That's it.